Hi everyone, happy Mother's Day. Today I have Sue Kreitzman. You can find her on that's her Instagram handle. She's amazing. She's so inspirational. I came across her a while ago and I've been watching her and she is truly a light. Like I fell in love with her Instagram, her style. She's an amazing woman. She's very inspirational and I honestly want her to mentor me if she has time. And I wanted to actually get to know her more on this Instagram live. I'm hoping that everybody will enjoy her story. I spoke to her earlier this week, and she is really a joy to talk to. So hopefully she's here. Let me request her. How can we request? Send a request. Um, why I do that now? Okay, here it goes. Here she goes. So hopefully, hi everyone. Hi Karen, how are you? Western, how are you? Today I have. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You can hear me? You can see me, yes?
Yes, I could hear you. I could see you. You look so beautiful today. So it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I am so honored to have you here with me. I'm so excited to share your story and ready to inspire other people that are looking for that light that lives inside of them, right? We all have that light. We just have to find a way, find something that inspires us. So please introduce yourself.
I'm really pleased you asked me. I'm a New Yorker, although I've been living in the UK for 36 years. You can take the girl out of Washington Heights, but you can't take Washington Heights out of the girl. So I still talk like a New Yorker. I'm 80 years old. I'm very, very close to being 81. I had my 80th birthday during the pandemic, which was very disappointing. But I've been through many stages of life, and I think that's true for many people who get to my age. I was a school teacher for many years. I taught in Washington Heights. I taught in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I taught in Atlanta, Georgia. And at Atlanta, Georgia, I was the first, I hit Atlanta, Georgia as a school teacher when they were trying very hard to integrate the schools. This was a long time ago. And all the fuss and the horror had happened before with the kids and the police dogs. Oh, it was awful. So things were calmer. However, the schools were not integrated. They were all black schools, they were all white schools. So, in their wisdom, this is a long time ago, and I'm being a little sarcastic here, they decided to integrate the faculty, the teachers, before they integrated the students. So I was the first white teacher to set foot in an old the first brick building for Black children in the projects in Atlanta. It was the most amazing experience. Those teachers, they had every reason to hate me. I mean, I was an interloper, a white interloper coming in. They were so good to me. I think it helped that I was not a Southern white woman. I think that helped a lot. I grew up in New York, and in New York, everybody was with everybody. I mean, it's a whole different story. They were so good to me. Someday I'm going to write a book about it. I was there for years. And then I got pregnant. I went on maternity leave. And the idea was I would have my baby and then I would go back. But I had always loved cooking, and that sort of took over my life. I became a food personality in Atlanta. I wrote some cookbooks. I was the food editor of the Sunday magazine, and this and then the other, and the food thing took over, and that lasted for a long time. I went on to write 27 cookbooks. I cooked on television. I cooked on the BBC a lot when we came to 36 years ago, we came to the UK. I won't. It's a long story. And I cooked on the BBC. I cooked here. I became a big food personality. 27 cookbooks, and then another huge change. And this is what's so interesting to our discussion. I went through the menopause. I've always been a very positive person. Um, The menopause almost killed me. Oh my God. My mother's side of the family suffered from terrible depression that, in many cases, ended with suicide. A very sad strand in my family. Thank goodness I did not inherit that particular genetic strand. I was always quite positive. But the menopause did something to me. I actually felt quite suicidal. I was frightened. I never felt like that before. And something happened. Either I had some kind of an epiphany or the muse bit me in the bum. I don't know. It was probably the menopause. I always knew that I couldn't be an artist. Even though I loved color, I loved art, I loved other people's art, I surrounded myself with it. But when I was in elementary school, high school, my mother expected me to be perfect in everything. I was pretty good in everything, but I always flunked art. I couldn't do what they wanted me to do. I couldn't draw what they wanted me to draw. I knew that I could never do it myself. But there I was, this poor menopausal woman. I had just finished my 27th cookbook. This is a true story. I was sitting up in my study with the proofs of my book in front of me, and I had scrap paper, I had colored markers, I had all this stuff. My hand picked up a colored marker, and my hand drew a mermaid. And I've always loved mermaids. It was a very folk art mermaid. It had a fish for a hat. I still have it. She was festooned with snakes. I looked at the mermaid, and the mermaid looked at me. The mermaid was in charge, not me. And my life completely changed in that moment. I never wrote another cookbook. I, I continued to cook a little bit because I love to cook, but not professionally. I became an artist. I guess I was an outsider artist or a folk artist or something. I was an artist, and I was completely obsessed with drawing. All my depression, it was irrelevant. I wasn't depressed anymore. I was just drawing all the time. So I was using markers, then I was using better markers, then I was using paint, then I was painting on wood and gluing stuff on the paintings. If you look on my website, just Sue Kreitzman website, there's a lot of my work there. You can see it. It's all very crazy. It's all very outsider. It's completely outside the margins of the art world, which makes it, in my opinion, much more interesting. Then I started building sculptures out of junk because I collect junk, a lot of junk. And it just kept ballooning. And now it's what, maybe 25 years later? This happened when I was in my late 60s. I'm now in my early 80s. I've become kind of famous as an artist. My art has been all over the world. I'm very big on curating shows and bringing unknown artists, especially younger artists, and into the fold. And all media. I love fabric art. I love what you do. I love painting, drawing. I love things made out of junk, and I love it when it comes from someplace deep inside. I always say about outsider art, and I say this from experience, it doesn't come from the head. It doesn't come from the heart. It comes straight out of the guts. You do it because you have to do it. It does. And to say, oh, this is very good, this is not very good, that also is completely irrelevant. There is no good or bad. Whatever you do, if you're doing it from the depths of your soul, that means it's good. You don't have to worry about technique. You'll make up your own technique. And what it does for your mental health, what it does for your happiness, it's not about selling. It's not about making a business out of it. And to tell you the truth, I hate to let go of my work. My house is full of my work and other people's work. It's not about business. It's not about making money. It's about the joy and the safety and the calmness, although it's not always calm. Sometimes you're overexcited, but it's a way of life and it consumes you. I always say art is life and life is art. There is no separation. So this is my story. And now that I'm in my 80s, that's going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to help younger artists. I also mentor a couple of old artists. It is the great joy of my life. You asked me a short question. I gave you a very long answer.
I honestly just want to hear you talk about your experiences because you have a lot of gems in you with you throughout your life, and I think that I see the way you see it. Art is art, And, you know, a lot of people have asked me, why are you so happy and bubbly? And I'm just like, because I do art. That's what I love to do. This is my passion. And if I feel like if someone was to take that away from me, I'll become stale. I'll become upset and moody and negative. And I think that there's many positive aspects about art. And my next question to you is, what do you see? What do you consider yourself when you are curating a show? Because you curated shows. What do you consider a good show for you? What have you had a good show?
I am very opinionated about about art galleries, and I don't like what they call the white cube galleries. And I don't like art talk, and I don't like it to be prissy, and I don't like it to be snobby. It is art by the people and for the people. So I don't want I've curated shows in the strangest places. We have a big Victorian church in the center of London, and it has a crypt. And there are 550 dead Victorians buried in that crypt behind the brick walls. In some cases, you can actually see the containers, the coffins they're in. And it has been cleaned up a little. It's very dusty. And the people who run the church let artists exhibit there. So I put up 2 exhibits there. One was called Dare to Wear, and the other was called Flashier and Trashier. And it was the best place. And right in the front, I set up a little lounge. You know, we had chairs to sit in, we had a table, we had a chair, we made coffee, we made tea, we gave people cookies. We wanted them to consider that their home. Of course, it didn't cost anything for anybody to come. And the venue was so quirky and so atmospheric and so full of London history. And we caused a ruckus. People had so much fun. They would come, and then they would bring their kids, and then they would bring their family, and they would come every day. And then they would have selfies taken with some of the art. I want the art to be crazy. I want it to be wild. I want it to come from your, the depths of your emotions. And there might be some pictures of it on my website. I'm not sure. I think on my YouTube channel, there are some little videos of the place. Where else have I done? There's a gallery in a hospital in St. Pancras, also in London. And at the end of every year, I curate a show there. And it's about outsider art. We alternate. The end of one year, we do an outsider art show based on knitwear and stitchery and fabric art. And the end of the next year, we do it based on color, and we repeat year after year. And it's in a hospital that deals with mental health patients. In fact, it's the hospital where Sylvia Plath, the great American poetess, she stayed there for a while, way back in the 50s. Again, it's full of history. It's a Victorian pile of bricks, and it has a delightful little gallery in there. And that's where I curate and co-curate shows as well. Every year we do an LGBTQ show. Every year. This year it's virtual, unfortunately. Everything is virtual this year. But next year we'll be live again. So it's all about artists who would be considered marginalized, and they shouldn't be. And from my point of view, those are the real artists. A lot of artists go to art school and all their genius is squeezed out of them. I like the artists who haven't gone to art school, or the ones who have and then rebel against it and become really crazy. That's what I love. So my big message is, I learned this lesson. Don't ever think that you can't be an artist. Anybody can be an artist. Anybody. And don't let anybody tell you this is good, this is not good. That's all bullshit. Excuse me. That's ridiculous. Anybody can do it. And if you still don't know how, I always say, go back to that time when you were a little child and you were drawing your mommy or your daddy and your dog and your house and a tree with all the crazy colors. Go back there and start drawing like that and see where it takes you. Get rid of all your preconceived notions about how to do it. And you'll be I don't have to tell you because you're already doing it. But for those people who are afraid, do it. I picked up a pen. I have no idea how that happened. It changed my life. I became another person entirely. Have a look at my website. I tell my stories, I show my work. Right now, I'm obsessed with making neck shrines. They're shrines to wear around your neck. They're about diversity and inclusiveness. You have to be a strong person to wear one because they're heavy, and you have to be a weird person to wear one. They're all over my house. I'm obsessed with them. And they are works of art. They're assemblage art that you can wear around your neck. I commissioned one of my artists to make me a whole bunch of dollies. And I'm doing a bunch of neck shrines with the dollies, but I'll use anything. After somebody has been through one of my exhibitions, because we do a lot of stuff with found objects, they leave dying to do something themselves. They leave looking down at the sidewalk, looking for junk that they can put into their. You don't have to have money. A little bit of money, maybe to buy some glue, but you don't need that much money. Stuff is all around you. It's all around you. Pick it up. It's free, and put it on your, put it on your art. It is such a joyous way to live. We had a year here of lockdown. Oh my God. It was very, very strict here. I think much more strict than it was in the States. And if not for getting up every day, and in my backyard, I have a shed and all my stuff is there. Every day I painted on paper bags, I made sculptures, I made funny masks. Every single day I have a huge body of pandemic work. I want to do a show about what everybody did. My friend said to me, if you don't make art, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What do you do? It's not worth living if you can't get up and know that you're going to make some art. What else is there in life? Not everybody feels that way, but you know what I mean. And I think a lot of people who are listening right now know what I mean. It is a blessing.
Yeah.
It's an obsession. It's an addiction, and it's a good addiction.
Yeah, Sue. I mean, you're getting a lot of feedback from everyone that just agreeing with what you're saying, and which is amazing because there's a lot of people that are doesn't have that push like you're giving us today, and they need that. They need that ongoing support as an artist. Like, I believe that art shouldn't even be judged. I mean, like, you have a lot of critics out there, but I feel like they only criticize only because that's what they learned themselves, and they project that out into the world so people can feel what they feel. And I honestly believe that art shouldn't be judged because it's part of your creativity, and creativity is beautiful.
No, you have to learn it. Criticism is nonsense. It's nonsense. I care about what all my other artists think. I care about what I think. My family is very indulgent and very nice to me. We don't need. I have. There's a magazine. It's a journal called Raw Vision Magazine. And if you haven't seen it, go to the library and get it, or buy one. There are some wonderful magazine shops in New York that have it, and it's all about outsider art. And they do have, I guess you'd call them critics, who write about your exhibitions, and they've been so good to me. They've been good to everybody I know because they get it. They get it. They're not the highfalutin guys that go to the white cube galleries and their noses are in the air and they really don't understand. They just don't get it. So there are critics and there are publications who do understand. They really do. But I don't worry about it. Just pick up a pen, a pencil, pick up anything, pick up some clay, and start trying to do something. You're going to surprise yourself. You really are.
Yeah.
Not you, honey. I know you.
So what inspires you to keep going? What keeps you motivated?
Well, it's what I am. It's what I do. I wouldn't begin to know how to turn it off. And I am very, very inspired by materials. So I go to flea markets. I go to what we call boot fairs here. What do you call a boot fair there? I guess rummage sales. I don't know. I go to all the places that are selling people's discards and the detritus of the past. And I get very turned on by all of that. And then I can't wait to come home and, make it. Yeah, I do get inspired by other people's art, but I never have the feeling that I want to do what they're doing because I have too many ideas of my own. I love street art and like Bushwick in Brooklyn. here in the East End of London, where I live, there's so much graffiti and so much painting on buildings that really gets me going because it's color, color, color. Color is my thing, and color gets me going. I have a kind of a tribe here, and it's a color tribe. And once a month, we have a color walk at my favorite flea market. Sometimes Japanese television televised us before the pandemic. We had hundreds of people. Sometimes we have 50, sometimes we have 20, sometimes we have 70. But we dress this way because that's the way we're dressed. We don't put it on for the camera. We just have a different way of looking at the world. We really don't care about what other people think, and we have a kind of a tribe, and we inspire each other. I'm very inspired by my young artists. I'm very inspired by my color tribe. I'm very lucky that at this point in my life, I have fallen into this way of life. I am so lucky. I wish the same for you. I wish a good, long life, a happy old age filled with color and filled with art.
Thank you. Thank you. And to everyone that's watching as well and around the world. So as an artist growing into it, did you ever come across like anything that you can say that gave you so much passion that gets you involved into the creation of the curating of a show and wanting to be involved, getting to know these people? What kind of led you into creating that show?
Well, I've probably curated maybe, well, more than a dozen, maybe a dozen and a half shows over the years. And it's meeting people, seeing their art, and wanting to show it to the world, wanting very badly. It's not just about me, it's about all the other people I've met. And you meet somebody who nobody's ever heard of them, nobody's seen the art. And I said, look at that. That's amazing. And then we put them in the show. I've had a couple of people from my friend in Queens who just died very unfairly from cancer, Joe Gaglioni. Um, I was the first person to see his work. He was a collector of vintage stuff, and I met him through that. And he said to me, "I want to show you something. I've never shown this to anybody before." And he brought out drawings. They were so powerful. They were so good. I said, Joe, first of all, I want to buy some. And second of all, I'm going to take them back. I want to put them in a show. He started to cry. He had no idea how good he was. And I meet people like that all the time. What I want to do is I want to give them the strength to know that they're really good. And I want to give them the place to show it. Unfortunately, the pandemic has closed everything down. In Toward the end of the year in October, I was supposed to do my color show, and it would have gone to mid-January, but that's not going to happen. So we're hoping we'll be able to do it next year instead. We've had a year hiatus. Everything is on hold, but I'm hoping we'll be able to begin again. We do some virtual things, but virtual is not very satisfying. So we're just waiting for it to come back. But yes, I'm very inspired by the people I meet, by the way they dress, by the work they do, by that attitude. You can see the passion and the color and the talent springing out of every pore. They don't always realize it. And I'm the one who has to tell them, listen, you're really good. You're really good. Let's show some other people this. It's great. It's absolutely great.
You are that voice that people are looking for. That voice, that motherly love, that an artist that's just beginning to start their life, because it is a lifetime, a lifetime relationship with art. And you come and it's like we all need that. And I think if we don't have that it's like a baby getting their new steps. They're so excited about becoming who they are, and there's somebody cheering them on. And I think that's so important in our life, especially now during this whole pandemic, and it really sparked up a lot of creativity. So my next question to you: what are you currently working on now as an artist? Now hopefully we're coming out of this pandemic. This is everybody's getting vaccinated. The world is looking a lot better now. So
It is. Yeah, especially our part of the world. England is doing very well. America finally is doing better. Some parts of the world are not doing so well. But I mean, I'm always working, and I never think about what is this going to be for. I just say, I want to make this. So I'm making a lot of neck shrines. I'm doing a lot of drawing, doing some painting. I went through a period during the pandemic. I collect, I'm a real, like, I'm like a real old grandma. I collect paper bags. I never throw a paper bag away. So during the pandemic, I think there's a little video of me showing them on my website. I painted. I had such a good time with that. I'm over that now, but every once in a while I have them right over there. I take them out, I look at them, I put them over my head. The funny thing is they're supposed to be masked, but they have no eye holes, so they're completely useless. They are works of art. So much fun, so much fun. So, but I'm finished with that. So now I am drawing, neck shrining, I'm painting. I'm always moving from one thing to another. I have several things going on in my shed. So I've got a nice big shed in my back garden. It's fantastic.
oh, wonderful. That's so wonderful and enlightening. So I was looking at your YouTube video and you were bringing to my attention about the yarn bomb exhibit, and it's not only just yarn bomb, it's different fabrics of our different textiles. I want to know, what did it take for you to bring that all together? I mean, we're all a family when it comes to art, but I feel that like fabric and different types of textiles versus paint and drawing, they some people don't see them like one, which they all are. But I'm
People think of
having a
them as,
difficult.
yeah,
What
people
was
think
that?
of them as crafts. People think of them as crafts, and they look down their nose at that sometimes. And my job and your job as well is to tell people this is art. Art can be made from any media, and there's nothing. Think about the women from oh, you know, they do those wonderful modern art quilts. Gee's Bend. Gee's Bend. They've been in the Museum of Modern Art. You know the people I'm talking about, the Gee's Bend quilts. They are starting to change people's minds about it. Instead of paint, you're using yarn, you're using scrap. There is no question that it's art. Now, the thing is, I work the curator of that gallery. He gives me a show at the end of the year to curate. And then I co-curate with him the rest of the year, the shows we do. Sometimes I have to just sort of make him understand what I'm talking about. He didn't quite get the yarn bombing. He had never heard about yarn bombing. He did understand about fabric art, and he was very enthusiastic about fabric art, but yarn bombing. And because our gallery is in a hospital, it's open to all. It's not scary at all, but it is in a hospital. And he was afraid of the word bombing. He thought people would think that, you know, we was some kind of terrorist. What are we going to be doing? And that's why I made the name The Gentle Art of Yarn Bombing and Other Acts of Stitchery. So it should be clear that we weren't going to bomb anybody. We were just going to knit them into submission. One of the most successful shows we ever had. And then he looked up yarn bombing and he saw it and he got very enthusiastic about it. But I had to feed it to him in little increments. It's not scary. It's not just craft. It's not just knitting. It's something big, you know, it's knitting made profound. And then we had a great time because we have one woman who crochets using old plastic shopping bags. I mean, it's very sustainable. She covers entire mannequins with it. She's unbelievably talented. Oh my God. We had some amazing, and some of them were absolutely unknown. This was the first show they've ever been in. And now they're starting to get quite a lot of attention. So I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of myself for showcasing them. So we will do another one, not this coming year. This coming year is about color. Then it will be about, I have to live a long time because I have so many things to do over the years.
Wow.
So, sorry, we'll do another stitchery show the
That
year
would be
after.
so amazing. That would be
Yeah.
so amazing. So my thing as an artist, okay, so once an artist gets that established, right? What do you think about the thoughts of an artist selling their work or their what they craft? I think that there's not much discussion about that as well.
No, this is an interesting discussion because I don't want artists to starve. You know, they have to make some money. So it's good if they sell their work. But if it just becomes about selling, it can deaden the whole process. I want to have a pink one. I don't like this color. Change the color. I want to put it above my couch. I want this. I want that. You need to be doing the work for yourself and hope that the people who buy it will understand that this is not decor to put. Yes, put it in your home, but don't ask me to do silly things to it to change it. I would like my artist not to starve. And in every exhibition I do, people are open to buy, and they do buy. Then there are the crazy ones like me. I can't bear letting things go. I think the the term is anal retentive. I'm very anal retentive about my art. But look, I'm in my 80s. I've had my career. I've made my money. I have a pension. My husband, believe it or not, who's older than I am, is still working. I can afford not to sell. I I need two more houses to put all my stuff in, but I can afford not to sell. But most people can't do that. It's great if you have a job and the job pays the rent or the mortgage or what have you, and then you also have time to make art, and then you can do what you want to do, and then hopefully you find somebody who'll put you in a show, and things will be for sale, and if you want to sell, you can. But it's a delicate subject. It's a very delicate subject. If you start making art purely for commerce, that can just mean the end of all your creativity. So you have to find that balance. I'm not stupid enough to think that artists can survive without selling. I know they need to sell. I know they need to make money. So
Yeah,
it's a fine balance. Yeah.
that's very important. Only because there's I believe that an artist should make money from doing what they love, but then there's the lack of support that people are like, "Oh, I don't want to pay that much money for it," and like honestly, I believe is that that's just another way of telling you or the person, I'm not you per se, but the person that's selling, that they're not worth the money that the energy or the money that they put into their work. And as a person that does the curations of shows, it's really important that we emphasize that an artist, it is work, even though you love to do it. It's like, I would say, like I'm like any musician that you can think of that is very famous, Beyonce, that she does what she loves, but she gets paid to do
Of
it
course.
because this is her craft and this is what she loves to do. But there's a fine line when it becomes business, right? I just think that those things are
Yeah. But you've hit on a very important point there, and that is people don't value it. And they don't want to give you the money that you think it's worth. You have to think about your labor, your materials, how much time you put in, and what it means to you, and then put a fair price on it. And it's very difficult when people say, "Oh, I like it, but I can't," or even when they ask for things for nothing, as if it's just something that you can. That's not right. We don't ask our doctor to sew us up for nothing. We don't ask the dentist to put our teeth back in for nothing. An artist is important, and their work is very, very important. It's an education. We need to educate the public about that. We really, really do. And what happens is somebody comes in and they'll see something and they'll gasp and they'll love it and they want it. Okay, put your money where your mouth is. We try to put reasonable prices on things, but the artist has to get what the artist deserves. It is difficult, and especially now, the pandemic, so many people are broke. It's tough. It's very, very tough right now, unfortunately, for everybody, not just for artists. It's tough. Yeah. Hoping things will bounce back.
It will. I have great hopes that it will, and it's going to bounce back better than ever. We are resilient, and we are going to come out really strong. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen the end of this year. Who knows? So, as a person that enjoys art, lives art, walks every day in art, what is it that I'm trying to get the question together? What is a personal habit that you created that keeps you focused? That line that doesn't you don't see anywhere else but what you like.
I'm always focused. It just comes naturally. I really don't know. My life is focused on color making things, seeing art, seeing other people's art. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's why I say life is art, art is life. There is no separation. It's the way I dress, it's the way my food looks, it's the way my house looks, even my laundry. I need, when I do my laundry, I need to see a lot of color in there. It's not, you don't have to spend any extra money to do that. Just choose something in a color. I have a saying, because I love to dress in color: don't wear beige, it might kill you. And I mean that seriously. I'm actually scared of beige. It leeches the life right out of you. It turns me into an old crone. I don't want anything to do with it. So I focus on being surrounded by color. All my friends are colorful people. If I know somebody who's not so colorful or a very beige person, I know that person is probably not going to be my best friend. So, yeah, I focus on color.
That's so cool. That is amazing. And as a person that focuses on color, I see that you wear these very unique outfits, like that jacket. The other day you were doing a live, and I was watching, and I saw you turn around while you were looking at the Pinocchio, and I was like, "Whoa, that's an amazing jacket!" Now, do you have an artist that creates that? Do you buy that? What do you?
No, that's a good.
Like it.
That's a whole part of my life. That's a whole part of my art life. I source fabrics from places when I'm in the States, in New York, the African market in Harlem on 116th Street. If you haven't been there, people who are listening to me, go. I hope they're surviving their pandemic. It's the most wonderful place. And they sell all these West African fabrics. I buy lots of them. And I buy vintage fabrics from the flea market. And I collect molas and other bits of art that I cut up and I put on the back. So I design them and I mix up the patterns and I mix up the colors and I decide what's going to go on the back. And then I have a tailor. He's just a little old independent guy right down the street near where I live, and he stitches them up for me. So it's all completely one of a kind. It's all me. It's incredibly exciting. So I'm always looking for new fabrics. Now the one you're talking about, a wonderful guy named Danny. He calls himself Barksy on Instagram. He's a photographer. And during the pandemic, he said, "Can I come and photograph you? I'll wear a mask. We'll social distance." I photograph eccentric characters. And I said, "I'm really not eccentric. A person who's eccentric is kind of pretentious. This is just the way I am. I am what I am." He said, "Okay, I'd like to come over." So he did. He spent the day, took amazing photographs. I had pandemic hair, you know what we all look like there, but it was fine. And we've become really good friends. So for my birthday, he left me a present right outside my door, a cushion with that stitched angel, Mexican angel, on the cushion. I immediately knew I wanted to wear that on my back. So I took the cushion apart and I designed a kimono to go around it and I gave it to my tailor. And yes, and my things just come together that way. It's great, isn't it?
Amazing. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so inspirational. I love the way your mind thinks. I wish I could live inside your brain. Like just sit there, read my whole room.
I have a wonderful friend named Diane Goldie, and she can take my drawings and make them into fabric. She's very talented. So sometimes I will give her one of my drawings. My drawings are very fanciful. They're about female goddesses and female power. And she'll take that goddess and she will translate into fabric. And then I put that on the back of my kimono. So all my kimonos have meaning. It's just a very simple kimono shape. It covers up everything, which is fine with me. And yeah, every morning I get dressed. It is an art experience. I am a walking art gallery. And the people who don't get it, the beige people, they think I'm crazy. And one woman says, "Oh, she just wants people to look at her." That's what. Yes, of course I do. I want people to see color. I want them to see art. I want them to change the way they see the world. Of course, it's not that I'm stuck up. It's that I want art and color in your face. I want to be part of that wonderful, colorful city experience. So it's like there's graffiti on the wall, and I am graffiti as well. I am art. It's yes, I have. It's like my mission in life, very much so.
I honestly, yeah, you are like a magnet to wanting to be around you. I wish I was in the UK with you, like just talking to you, because your energy is so amazing. Like I want to be like you. I want to be. I'm just so speechless because you are a gem to my life,
Oh,
and to be
are
able
you?
to talk to
Yeah,
you.
you are well on your way. I mean, you do amazing work, and I think you're doing quite a lot to inspire people. And you, yes, you're very inspirational as well, and you're living a good art life. It's open to all of us, even if you work in a damn bank, and then the rules about what you can wear and what you can't wear. You go home and you fling off your bank clothes and you put on the color and you put on the art.
Yeah,
And that doesn't have to be the real you. When I was teaching school all those years ago, I had to be a little bit. Actually, they were quite good about letting me do what I wanted because the kids always loved to see color. I didn't dress quite like this, but I did dress in a lot of color. And sometimes, oh, I can't wait till you come in and I see what you're going to wear. And that is inspiration. That's teaching people about color. That's teaching people about art. So, yeah, I've been doing this pretty much all my life.
that's just a wonderful thing. So, what do you want to see when the clock strikes 12 and it's about to be 2022? What do you want to be able to accomplish by then? What do you want? Like you're speaking into existence.
Well, first of all, I would like there to be no more viruses. I would like the pandemics to be over. I would like people to feel free. I would like to throw away the damn masks, although, the masks can be a statement as well. All my friends all over the world are making me art masks. I never, ever wear a boring mask. And when this is all over, my collection of masks and other people I know who have art masks, they will be important artifacts of what we have gone through this year. It'll be an important collection. So I would like that to be over. But people say, what's on your bucket list? I'm living my bucket list. I just want to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. I'd like to discover some more artists. I'd like to take care of the artists I have. I'd like to mount some more shows. I'm getting older. Traveling is getting a little harder for me. I don't mind. I want to be able to just keep doing it and keep inspiring people and keep my own inspiration going, which I think will never disappear until I pop my clogs. That will never disappear. I'm very lucky. If you're a little bit crazy and a little bit obsessive, you are lucky.
I am very much into like I'm so focused on crocheting and yarn. It's ridiculous how much I'm into it, and I was just wondering about that. Like I am so I kind of I'm okay with people calling me weird. Like I've never seen a yarn lady.
They're the ones who are weird. Because people call me weird all the time. They're the ones who are weird. You're weird if you don't have this thing that you do and that you're fascinated by and that creates beauty and color. You're the weird one. Don't call us weird. Please, don't you just don't pay attention to that and keep doing what you're doing. You're my kind of person
Yeah,
and I'm your kind of person. We're part of the same tribe. You don't want to leave that tribe. Boy, am I
yeah,
glad
I
to meet
kind of,
you, honey.
I that's my mind frame now. Like I really don't. I'm not focused on the negative part at all. I'm just enjoying my life, letting my family enjoy the ride also, and just being humble and grateful for every opportunity to wake up in the morning to be able to do it.
Well, when you get to be my age, I'm lucky my health is pretty good, touch wood. But I wake up in the morning, I say, do I know who I am? Yes. Do I know where I am? Yes. Next step, can I get out of bed? Yeah. Can I stagger to the bathroom? Yes. It's going to be a good day. You take it as it
That's
comes.
right.
It's going to be a good day.
That's right.
Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
quite a long life ahead of
Thank
you,
you.
full of color,
Thank you.
full of crochet, full of stitching, full of art. You're a lucky woman. A lucky woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so humble for that. So now we go to these questions that I have. Here Karen has one. Is it? Hold on. Wait. Oh no, somebody asked to go live. I don't know what was that. But Kern here, she says, when I saw the construction fence in the streets, the boredom of partiers in Inwood seemed weird to me. I mean, the sewing art into fences she's also Kern is also a yarn bomber who is based out in Florida, and she's like every yarn bomber, we put it out in the street for everyone to see. And sometimes people are always wondering when they pass us, like, what do you like? They second guess, like, is this something new, or and it's actually an old thing. Karen
It's
has a
been around for.
question. Have you ever done art in the street?
Have I ever? Sorry.
Done art in the street? Have you ever
I've,
done art in the street?
yes, I've done art events in the street. So with some of my friends, we put on this thing for Mother's Day several years ago. Mother's Day is on a completely different day, completely different month in the UK, but that doesn't matter. My friend Aunt Sophie, she took a beautiful vintage gown and she put rubber dolls' heads all over it, and she had a basket with little hearts, and you could show some love for the baby, and people passing by would take a heart and put it onto one of the doll heads. So we put on events on the street and draw people into the art activity. I've done plenty of that. um, Actual yarn bombing, I think, is not legal. I have friends who've done it anyway, and then they run away, and it's there, and they hope that it will stay there. And also, you can get in trouble with doing graffiti unless you have a license to do it. And since even though I've been here 36 years, I am a guest in this country. I don't want anybody to get mad at me. So everything I do is inside a gallery or inside a space, or else we'll put on um, an installation or an activity outside, which we can then clean up nicely and be good citizens. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of permission. Every art that I put out, it's always done with permission and
Yeah.
support from the community. Mainly, I focus on that because I don't like, I don't like anything bad to go on the art and then somebody yanks it off because it wasn't supposed to be there. I try to try to focus on galleries also. I think it's important that we value our art that way too.
But
So
you can make
as
your own gallery, because now there are a lot of empty shops, empty spaces, and you can get a shop and put your own gallery and make it more exciting than a white cube gallery. Do it your way. Do it legally, but do it your way. Make it more fun than the establishment. The establishment art world is sometimes just not fun.
Yes, and I look, when you say the white cube, I look at a lot of like museums that have very historic art. I kind of feel like some of them need a little bit of color. Like I kind of I've been to the Metropolitan Museum a million times, and I love it because they always have different exhibits. And actually, you mentioned something earlier about all in one, I think, or something like that you said, and it kind of reminded me that they have an exhibit there now that has like we're all in this together. I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
it was, all in this together. It's a new exhibit, and I kind of feel that when it comes to color, I'm not. I need color in the exhibit. I need fun. I need to be like, wild. I see your necklaces that you have these dolls in the middle, and I'm big with dolls. I love seeing different types of dolls. When as a kid, I used to collect Barbie dolls, and I still have a few here now with me. And I kind of find that fascinating that you make it into these necklaces and you make it into jewelry just so it stands out. Like this is not junk. This is beautiful. This is art
It
that
is.
you created.
When Barbie came into the world, I was 19 or 18 years old, and I wasn't really interested. It just kind of passed me by. But now There are Barbies in all the thrift shops and the charity shops and the flea markets, and we remake them. You know, Barbie also went through menopause and became a whole completely different person. We paint her. I went through a phase of, there's one behind me, making chandeliers. And a lot of my chandeliers have bejeweled Barbies hanging on. They were all old, used up Barbies, gave her new life. And I love rag dolls, and I often commission some of my friends to make me rag dolls. So yes, art is everywhere. And you said about color in the museums. What we need is we need color, we need humor, we need laughter, and we need inclusiveness. So, you know, we need everybody to be involved. I'm big on LGBT rights. I'm big on Black and here in the States, we have a lot of people from the Middle East. I'm big on getting them into this thing as well. It's for everybody. Art is not only for an exclusive club. It's for everybody, even old ladies and old men. I got a friend, he's older than I am, and his name is Phil Wildman. And he is actually a wild man. And I have put him in many of my shows too. So just because you're old or just because you're disabled, or it doesn't mean that you're not important. It doesn't mean you can't make riveting art, absolutely riveting. Those are the people who need to be, you know, glorified, absolutely glorified.
Yeah, this is project that I've been working on, that you crochet with a disability, and it really brings out people that are there. People with disabilities are actually better than people that don't have disabilities. Their mind and the way their creativity just fluctuates so easily. It's amazing. It's amazing what they create and what they focus on, that becomes this work of art. And they like you said, they don't have enough light around them, that people to support them and give them that encouragement so they can come out. Because a lot of people, I mean, like, I think about what's this guy that was on SNL last night? What's his name?
So,
He just created a rocket ship to go to Mars.
oh, you
What
mean
is his
Elon Musk?
name?
Elon,
Yes,
Elon,
he,
Elon Musk, yes.
Eli. Yes,
Elon,
he has
ELON.
Asperger's, and
Yeah,
he has Asperger's, and he's such a brilliant man that, a man with a disability is able to create something like that. I just like how many people are out there that have something, but everybody is born with a gift that dwells inside of them, are itching to come out. Because I believe in that. I believe that everybody has a gift to show, and if whatever it is, use it to your best abilities, and that you are serving your purpose when you're doing that.
for many people, Asperger's is the gift. There were so many geniuses through history that in Mozart, Einstein, that very likely were Asperger's. Yeah, and they have done. Oh God, yeah. Do a little research on it, and they are the ones that have made the art that will last forever. That will last forever. Yeah. So I always say, because we're not taking very good care of the planet, when everything collapses, and when humanity is gone, when visitors from the future come, or aliens come, or there's a new civilization comes, please remember us, not for our greed, not for our selfishness. Remember us for our beauty, our symphonies, our art, our jewelry. Remember us for the good stuff. Excuse me, it's hay fever season. But everything is okay.
Sue, you are truly a gem, and I would love to one day collaborate with you, connect with you in person also. I am so grateful that I had this opportunity with you. I am so beyond, like, out of my mind. You have gave me a purpose today. And I just want to show you, you talk about you love rag dolls. I made this.
Oh, look at that.
My
That's
little Frida
lovely.
Cinderella. She's missing
Oh, that's so good.
And
I
this
love
is what I
crocheting
call
dolls. Absolutely.
this is what I call my coming out project. This is my first project that I showed the world a couple of years ago, and
Yeah.
this is something that I hold dear to my heart. And I remember starting that project, and people were making fun of me, like, "What are you doing?" And it's just like, I'm creating a doll. I don't know what I'm doing. It was something that I hold I hold dear to my heart. And when you said that you like rag dolls, that was my I just had it here in front of me, holding it while I'm talking to you. The whole time you don't see it, but she's right here.
That
And
is
I
really
was just
nice. And she
talking.
has the eyebrows and the flowers. That's marvelous. Absolutely lovely.
Yes, this is all made out of love, and also like not knowing how to make it. And when you said that you love rag dolls, it was like, oh my god, I'm actually holding one right now. And I've been looking at your Instagram, and now that you gave me the opportunity to talk to you, I am beyond grateful, and I am so humbled that you had the opportunity to. And there's a time difference. You're in the UK, so it's like 5 hours earlier,
It is.
and be able
Five
to talk
hours
to me
later
on
here.
Mother's Day,
It's
and
okay. It's
celebrating
okay.
Mother's Day with me. I am so grateful, and I thank you so much for joining me and the rest of everyone else. And I want to wish you and everyone on the Instagram a happy Mother's Day. God bless you guys all. Thank you, Sue, for spending time with me. I hope we reconnect and update. I would like to talk about your upcoming projects so that we can, over here in the United States, get a little peek of what you're doing, the amazing work that you're doing over there in the UK.
Thank you
Would
for
you
that,
like to add anything?
really. And I will be back to visit probably in about a year when this is all over and it's safe. We're not allowed to travel right now. We finally they allowed us to leave our houses just a few weeks ago, but we still can't travel. So I'm waiting for everything to calm down, and I will be back in New York, and we'll go have lunch. We'll go to the African market, and we will sit and talk and talk and talk. I look forward to it.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sue. Have a great Mother's Day. Enjoy your day. God bless you
and
guys
you
all.
too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's earlier for
Okay,
you.
bye,
So have a good Mother's Day. Bye. Bye bye.
guys.